Welcome back to Between the Lines. My name is Mason, and in this series, we're breaking down every NFL division. We're giving you the win totals. We're giving you our best bet to win the division. We got it all right here, folks. All right, and look, today we're previewing the NFC North. If you missed the last video where we previewed the NFC West, make sure you go check it out. But look, make sure you drop a comment, like, subscribe. We're bringing on our buddy Ralph once again to give us some insight. Without further ado, let's get into it. All right, Ralph, how's it going, my friend?
It is going well. We got a great division. The NFC has probably the worst division, and it also has the best division. And right now, I cannot wait to talk about one of the best divisions in football.
Oh, yeah, and we talked about that worst division a few videos ago with the NFC South. Absolutely garbage. But like you said, we got a better division here as well. Let's start off with the Detroit Lions, Ralph. Let's start off with the Lions. Tell me your thoughts on them. What are you thinking over on their 10.5? Talk to me.
Have they peaked? I think they had their window. I'm not saying they're going to be back to the Detroit Lions with the bags in their head and they go winless and stuff like that. But I think 10.5 is a really, really big number. They were 9-8 last year. They had some injuries. They got rid of 1-2 punch in their back game. So now we have one running back that's probably going to have to carry the load. How's that going to handle? How's your offensive line going to handle it? So there's so many question marks on this one. I think they stick with 9-8. I see them winning 9 games. I was trying to find 10, going back and forth trying to find 10. I just could not find it because I think there's some other teams in this division that's going to surprise some viewers of what I mentioned.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more here. I can't find 10 wins. I think 9-8's pretty realistic considering how tough this division is. This line might maybe a little mispriced. I like the under 10.5 as well. To me, the biggest thing is they didn't go out and they didn't make the splash for a big guy on defense. You know what I mean? And their pass defense was just atrocious last year. The Detroit's always known great run defense, just not a good pass defense. And they didn't really do much to improve that defense, like I said. And like this, they lose David Montgomery. You could expect a lot of pressure on Jahmyr Gibbs. Can he stay healthy is a question as well. So give me the under 10.5. I think this is one of the easier bets that we've made. All right, Ralph, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. What are we thinking about the season?
The Cheeseheads.
The
team that I'm supposed to hate being born and raised in the Chicagoland area. The teams, the first words we're supposed to say is, I hate Green Bay. But at the same time, I think they take a huge step upwards. I think at plus 210 to win a division, 9.5 total season wins. The over is minus 120. I'm a little bit shocked that you can still lay minus 120 on the over because I think they do get double-digit wins. I think Jordan Love continues to take small steps upward, not backwards. I think their run game is going to be better. But I think their defense, which surprised me last year, is improved this year. And I think that's why I like Green Bay. I think they get double-digit wins. I can see them going 11-6, not even 10-7.
Wow. Look, I'm going to disagree with you here. I do like this defense. Let me make clear. They do add Javon Hargrave.
Yep.
Good Bennett addition. So, though I do think this defense is good, is always a question mark about this offense and their receivers. They lose Romeo Doubs, who you may think he's not that great. But if I'm not mistaken, Romeo Doubs was Jordan Love's leading receiver last year, right? And now the biggest question for me, it's always the health of these receivers, right? Christian Watson, this dude hasn't stayed healthy since he's been in the league. Jaden Reed, he was out pretty much the entire season last year. So when your number 1 and 2 wide receivers, Christian Watson and Jaden Reed, and they can't stay on the field, I mean, it's a little worrisome. Tucker Kraft got hurt last year. I just don't think this team has much offense in terms of weapons on the offensive end that can, one, stay healthy, and even just in general. So that worries me a little bit this year. I am a big fan of Jordan Love. I do like Josh Jacobs. But I think this team finishes 9-8, so I'm going with the under 9.5.
Let me piggyback on that. I think the tight ends of Green Bay are going to have huge seasons. Yes, everything you said about the wide receivers, I do have a little questions, but I think the tight ends, both of them in Green Bay, I think even they have a third one that no one's really even mentioning. I think that we can see the tight ends having a huge season in Green Bay.
That's a great point. Could as well. Ralph, let's talk about the team that you think, and I agree with you, has the potential to surprise a lot of people. The Minnesota Vikings sitting at 8.5. People forget that this team somehow went 9-8 last year. Okay, with JJ McCarthy at the helm. Now, Kyler Murray will be the starting quarterback, what it seems like, according to Kevin O'Connell. And a guy who's been doubted a lot throughout his entire career. Obviously, very small quarterback. But now he comes in a good system. You saw a guy like Sam Darnold, like we talked about, come in the Minnesota and break out. You know, a guy who was hated on and known as terrible for most people. Then goes to Minnesota and he has a breakout year. Look, I like the Vikings here to go over their 8.5 win total here. Surprised a lot of people this season. Let's not forget that Brian Flores is still defensive coordinator, and this defense is legit. They always will be under Brian Flores. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the names, but this defense is just scheme-wise just insane. So I like the Vikings this year. Give me over 8.5. They probably finish with about 9 wins on their Kyler Murray, just because it's a tough division. So yeah, give me the Vikings over 8.5.
Yeah, I do love the over in this one. Kyler Murray, mini me, who runs around in Arizona, but he was running around to save his life because his offensive line was
It's
awful.
true.
The Vikings' offensive line is much better than what he had in the deserts in Arizona. I think him and maybe even JJ McCarthy, let's say if he wins the QB battle, he's probably going to be playing his best ball at practice because he knows someone now is breathing behind his back. He's got competition. He's got a guy that's been a starter in the league. So I think both quarterbacks, I'm always a big believer, if you have two quarterbacks, you have none. But this one right here, I think whoever gets the helm is going to have a really, really good season. I have Kyler Murray having a redemption season. I love the Vikings in this spot. Their defense, you said there's a defense, it's a scheme. The players know where to go, players know what to do, and that's why their defense is always in there. So give me Skull over 8.5.
Love it. Love it. You got me fired up for the Kyler Murray redemption season, to be honest. I'm all over the train now. The more you talk about it, the more I'm on it, Ralph, to be quite honest with you. Love it. Love it. Let's talk about the Chicago Bears, the last team in this division. Sitting at 9.5, and me and you just talked off air, and you think they're going to have a little slippery slide here. Talk to me. Why do you think we're going to see a little negative regression for the Chicago Bears?
Yes, they won 6 out of 8 at home. But look who that division record was. They only won 2 division games, and this division is going to be tough again. So I think Caleb Williams, yes, he's a good quarterback, but I think they take a small step backwards. They improved on defense, but their schedule is pretty tough. And I think people are going to realize what Caleb Williams is. They have enough tape. They have multiple seasons on him. So they know, okay, when healthy, he's going to do this. When healthy, he's going to do this. So they have enough on him. I just think the way the schedule is being played, and I think the Vikings and I think the Packers and maybe even the Lions, I think all three of them can give them a loss. So that could be 3 losses right there. And you still have to play 14 more games with that schedule. I think they go 9-8. So I'm going to take the under. It would not shock me if they go 10 wins. I don't think they go more than 10, but it would not shock me. But right now I'm going 9-8. So I'm going to take the under.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Look, I'm a believer in the Bears this season. I've always been a believer in Caleb Williams. I think what we saw in the playoffs from him, or was that the wild card, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, Walker.
The wild card game where he like truly broke out, was making those incredible throws. Is like what we're going to see from Caleb Williams this year. It's just taken him a little bit to get his feet under his shoulders here in the NFL. This guy is incredible talent. Okay. And he has a plethora of weapons. And you have Ben Johnson, who's a great offensive scheme coach. I think he's in the perfect system. They go out and they add some veterans to this defense and Devin Bush. And this defense was very lucky last season. They had a ridiculous amount of turnovers, especially in the first half. And then they sort of regressed, as we saw in that wild card game. So I think proving that end is huge. And so I like the over 9.5. But like I said, I don't think they get more than 10 or 11 wins simply because this division is tough. This is going to be one of those situations where I think the division will be won on a tiebreaker. Certainly. But I like the Bears over 9.5. Ralph, tell me who you think is going to win the division.
I'm not gonna lie. I really, really, really wanted to take the 6-1 in Minnesota.
You said it.
And I can guarantee you, I'm gonna have someone place a bet for me somewhere. I can't bet in a lot of sports books, but I'm gonna have a Vikings to win a division ticket somewhere. I just think I like the way they're gonna play on the offensive side of the ball. I think their defense is always going to put you in the game to win the game. But I'm going with Jordan Love. I think the Packers win this division, so give me the plus 210. But again, it would not shock me if the Purple People Eaters and Skull win this division at 6-1.
100%, 100%. Ralph's going with the Packers. I'm going with the Bears. Look, plus 325. Give me the Bears. I think Caleb Williams is the truth. And I think this defense is going to improve. So give me in a division that, honestly, I think the value at 6-1 is great for the Vikings. I'm going to agree with you on that. I'll probably have a ticket as well. I like the Bears plus 325. I think they're winning this division. And that is a wrap on the NFC North, ladies and gentlemen. What a division. I think that is going to be one of the most competitive divisions in all of football this year. I'll be excited to watch those games. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode where we will be moving to the AFC divisions. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode.